everybody. It's ChristopherNotWalken. Welcome to the Dirty Nerdy Show. Just me this week. Maybe next week we'll get Goldie or Shani or Busy Bee back in, but this week it's just me. And I want to welcome a very special guest this week. We've got somebody who is a man of many talents, and I want you to give it all up. A nice, warm TDNS welcome to Bearded Audio ASMR.
Hello,
aka ASMR Jesus.
Oh yes. Ooh, that could be my AKA. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Jesus role play.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. Yes, we all know
coming
Jesus.
Up.
Jesus was super in ASMR. A lot of people don't know this.
He did. He's like whispering, like tapping on crosses and shit. You know. Like,
oh
man. So how did you get into this ASMR thing? How'd you stumble upon it?
Oh God, excuse me. Well, a while ago, it's kind of funny. I was just talking to my wife about this recently because she disputes. I say it was about 6 or 7 months ago that she showed me ASMR for the first time. And I told her that I said that recently. I was doing ASMR chats with GP. And she was like, I showed that to you like 3 years ago. And I was like, what are you talking about? No, you didn't. So it was either 3 years ago or like 6 months ago. It was definitely 6 months ago. I don't know what she's talking about. But she showed me ASMR, and she thought I'd be into it because I am an audio freak. It's what I got my degree in. So I have a Bachelor of Science in Audio Design. And I just have always loved audio in all of its forms. And she showed it to me, and it was somebody just whispering. And I don't remember who it was, but I was like, this is really weird, and I don't like it. Like, this makes me very uncomfortable. and so fast forward to about 3 months ago, I was like, you know what? I was like, I see it. Like, I've seen a couple of my friends are in the ASMR. I was like, oh, check it out, whatever. And that's when I figured out there's like different triggers, and it's not just like whispering. And I've gotten used to the whispering part of it. And yeah, so I kind of just listened to it more and more, found what I liked. So I found ASMR Darling, and she was doing a lot of just like the tapping stuff, like her super old school stuff, just tapping and the makeup brushes and stuff. I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. And then I found GB and kind of slowly just started following a ton of people. And then I was like, you know what, this would be super fun to do myself. And so, yeah, so then I just started diving into it and creating. And here we are.
That's super dope. So you got a bachelor in like audio science, right?
Yep.
What does that entail? Like, what are the things that you're like interested in? Is it like the old forms of recording?
Kind of. I mean, so I went to the Art Institute of Seattle, and
Seattle's a good place. Grunge. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes. It's a fantastic music hub. But there, I did learn how to record old school. So I did learn, we spent an entire class was recording the tape and all that stuff. So, we didn't open up or start up a computer or anything like that. So that was super fun to learn. Yeah. So it was like cool to learn, but also like, I am not at all nostalgic to the old ways of recording. Like, I don't care about recording to tape anymore. To me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, there's like a sound you can get out of it, and there's pros to like recording drums to tape because of tape compression, but blah, blah, blah. That's a whole other thing. But what I really got into was we did a lot of classes on sound design, on post audio for film, in games, and that's where I really, really fell in love with audio. So I went there because I love to mix music. That was like a hobby of mine growing up. And it ended up actually diving into this whole other world of audio that I wasn't even aware of until I went to school for it. And so, yeah, so basically I went to the school, learned how to properly do, mix music, master music, how to use Pro Tools, which I hate, so I don't use it anymore. And a lot of the more standard, like any music school, you'd go to and learn how to do that kind of thing, or any recordings. But then I did learn how to do a lot of post-production and sound design, a few composition classes for that kind of world, and that's where I love to focus.
What was the first instrument you picked up?
First instrument was guitar, or sorry, actually it was piano. And I hated practicing. I didn't like it. And so I stopped. And then I picked up a guitar and I liked that. So I played the guitar now for 17 years,
Yeah,
18 years,
nice.
17 years. Yeah. And it's still my primary instrument. I love it to death. But I do play the bass, and not just like a guitarist playing the bass. I can actually play the bass like a bassist. Um, and keys a little bit. Like I'm definitely not a pianist, but I can write stuff pretty easily on a keyboard or a piano or
Yeah,
whatever. But it usually ends up being more game audio type stuff, or more bass lines and that kind of a thing versus like a piano piece.
that's what I find when I'm playing keys, that I I rate bass bits,
Hmm. Yeah, right, exactly.
and I think it's just because I'm a guitarist. Like I can't, like, I'm not Prince, so like I can't
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
no,
do
I totally get
everything.
that. Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely can't do everything. I can make it sound like I can do everything thanks to MIDI, but uh, yeah. So like on some songs I've released recently that are more on like the metalcore side of things, people are like, "Oh my gosh, you did everything." I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, drums are programmed though." Like I wrote those parts, but I absolutely did not play that.
What's your favorite, like, your favorite song that you've done so far that really inspired you? The one song, because we've all had this one experience as musicians. The
Hmm.
one experience where you're like, oh my god, I got to get this one out right now.
Oh man. Uh, it wasn't so much I got to get this out right now. It was I have been writing this song forever, and like I in the past year I've really fought depression and just a lack of drive to really do much of anything. And so I had this song called Snake versus Man, and it's these lyrics I wrote a long time ago. That's literally just a guy fighting a snake. Like it's the whole thing is this guy. You don't know his backstory. I don't even know his backstory, but he's thrown into a dark room and there's a snake in it, and they just fight to the death, and that's it. And I was like, it's just a very like I'm screaming the whole time, and it's just an angry song. And it's the first like original song I've written in a long time, because I was in a band for the past like 8 years where I would help write, but I wasn't a primary writer or anything like that. And so this is the first thing I've written like a full song that's all my own, and I just basically fought it for like 4 months, like the finish writing all the parts, tracking all the parts at home, with 3 kids, and I share my studio room is also my youngest daughter's room. So there was like, I could only track past a certain time, and work is crazy. And so I just like fought the song, and finally was like, I'm done, and like released it to the world. And it was like the biggest relief to finally be like, go fly away.
When you've released that, and it's done and it's out there, like, what are you feeling? Is it a sense of relief? Is it like what
Uh,
goes through your head?
yeah, relief, pride, in it. I am very proud of the song. I think it's a cool and good song. And so, uh, yeah, it's very much like, oh man, finally, you know. And then of course it's like now I can finally get on to the next.
Yeah.
Like there's, and so and that one took me 4 months, and then it was only another month before I had another one out. So it was kind of like a floodgate kind of a thing too. Like, like I now I feel like my creative voodoo mama juju's back a little bit.
Yeah, so you got that block out of the way, because I've heard of the block, like the creative block, and then you get that out of the way, and
Yeah.
then like everything like comes out, and then it's crazy because everything is like you can't stop writing then.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely that kind of a thing. And I've done like I want to do more stuff that's more band related, more like again, I just love metalcore, so screaming, heavy guitar riffs, breakdowns, yeah, the whole thing. Like I love it, but I do write a lot of music that's more compositional or more in line with like a video game soundtrack kind of a thing.
Nice.
And so yeah, so I've been able to write a lot of that too, which is fun.
ideal game that you would write for,
Um,
like of existing properties.
right, yeah. Horror, I think. I love it's like Resident Evil or something. I love spooky. Like it's because it's typically more ambient, less rules, more creepy, more like you can have more fun with it, as
Yeah,
opposed to just writing like a theme song or whatever, which I still love to do, but I also like getting strange.
yeah. I dig that. So switching back to ASMR really quick because I
Yeah.
do that. I switch back and forth a lot. How does your background in music and in audio, how does that inform your approach towards ASMR?
Um, excuse me. I think music. I think I can bring rhythm to the table. I guess is so for me like tapping and that kind of a thing. It's easier for me to kind of settle into a rhythm. And one thing I actually saw, so I didn't know who Raffi Taffy was until recently. And he kind of came back with a video, and people are like, "Oh, God's back." And I was like, "Oh, who's this guy?" So I watched his stuff. I was like, "This guy's really like I see why people love him so much. Like he's like his stuff's really really good. But he's also just like a very like joyous, like just seems like a very good person." And one thing he did that I thought was super cool was, what did he call it? He called it like what did he call it? Setting and breaking or something like that, where he would basically like go 1, 2, 3, 4 with whatever trigger it was, and just do that over and over and over and over again until you like kind of feel like you're settling into a rhythm. And then he would just go and like break it up, and I was like, "Oh, that was fun." So I think I'm gonna try that pretty soon. And yeah, so I think music. I don't know. And so if you watch my videos, I have these water bowls that are like people seem to love, that are literally just like salad bowls from Target. Like there's nothing special. There's nothing special about them other than they sound pretty cool, but they do kind of have musical properties. And
Salad bowl ASMR.
it's just yeah. I mean that's all it is. Like in the first time I used them, I kind of made a joke about them being like these ancient music bowls from like Thailand or something. And it's like
Target's
no,
totally gonna sponsor you now.
Oh, I hope so, dude. I love Target. I'm so basic. Me and my wife we live at Target. It's amazing. But man, excuse me. From a audio perspective, I think for me, the audio setting up and kind of quality, and for me, ASMR is audio first. Like, I don't really get visual ASMR at all. I don't really get triggered by that. But I love like I can let's see. For me, the visual part of it's kind of secondary. And so I don't mind just turning a screen off or something and just listening to what somebody's doing. And that's how I kind of approach my thing. My visual part of it's secondary. So I do this whole setup with like this projector, and it's kind of cool, but it's not at all necessary to, I think, my overall experience. Other than the projection kind of being a little bit more on the mesmerizing side, so it might make you fall asleep quicker if you watch it. But I definitely care a lot about the quality of the audio, and I think I can throw in a lot of little tricks and stuff with EQ and delay. I love using tape delay to kind of add some cool sparkle to stuff. And then I did my first soundscape ASMR bit over, I think it was the day before Halloween, or might have been on Halloween, where it's literally only stuff from my sound effects library. And so there's nothing that's recorded at all. It's all just sound effects that either I'm just putting in and like looping or manipulating in some way. So I took a lot of stuff. I'd play it straight forward first, and then I reverse it, and then I would stretch it and lower the pitch and do all sorts of crazy stuff to it.
Do you ever record sounds for samples?
I do. Yeah, I do that a lot. And I have a lot of stuff. It's called Foley, which is
like Foley art.
Right, exactly. So I do a lot of that as well. And so I've got my own kind of library that I've built myself, along with stuff that I've just purchased or gathered along the way. So yeah, so I got a lot of cool little my background in audio from that perspective kind of helps me have more of a unique kind of sound or flavor or uniqueness that I bring to the channel overall.
That is super duper dope. What are your plans for the future of the channel and the future of music as well?
Yeah, I for the channel, for the time being, I mean, I really just want to, I have almost 30 videos now, and I want to try and settle into twice a week being able to put out something that's pretty good, maybe 20 minutes to a half hour long. And eventually I'm going to start running out of like new things to like in my house to like grab and tap and do all sorts of fun stuff with. And so I'm going to go back to see what I did previously that I liked and maybe kind of do part twos or just kind of bring old props and stuff back. And I'm just going to keep that going for a while. Like, right now I just kind of see myself doing ASMR for the foreseeable future because for me it's also very therapeutic to record it.
Yeah.
And it feels really good to record it, and then it feels great when people listen to it and they're like, "Oh, this is amazing." I'm like, "Oh, this is great. It's not just for me, I'm helping people."
What's the nicest comment you ever got?
What is the nicest comment I've ever got? I mean, I had anytime someone says like it's they experience tingles listening to my stuff, I'm like, that's great. Like I love that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I like to know, or that this like it helped them fall asleep. Like that's all I really care about. Like so that's fantastic. And I can't think of a specific comment right now, but anytime someone's like, "Oh, this is great. It's so tingly," I'm like, yeah.
I cut you off, but I want to know what your plans are for music.
For music right now, it's going to be keep writing my own stuff. And we'll see if about more of a band and playing live stuff in a few years right now. So I got 3 kids. They're 5 years old, 3 years old, and coming up on 2 years old. And so life is crazy with them, and I just don't have time to dedicate to playing with other musicians and playing live. I had to, after my 3rd kid, the band I was in, I was like, I just can't do this anymore. Like I have to cut something out of my life, and unfortunately it's going to be this. And I want to make sure that I can like give my wife a break on occasion because she's amazing, and we're homeschooling, so she's with the kids all the time, every day. And she's a full-time stay-at-home mom, and so I want to be able to support her when and where I can.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah. So it's crazy, but yeah. So music for me, like music's gonna be a part until I'm dead. And so, however that manifests itself, I mean, it'll always be there in some form.
Yeah. Like I'm, like the way my health is, I can't get out and play shows. Like I would love to. I would love to like be in a band right now. It's just not a thing for me. So what I do is I go and I like create these little like guitar soundscapes, and I've sent you a few of them.
Yeah, they're cool. They're fun.
Thanks, man. But yeah, this has been like super dope, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to come out and talk to me on Dirty Nerdy and talk about music and a little bit of ASMR. And I wanted the people to get to know a little bit about you and why they should subscribe, and because I think you're super awesome. Anytime you're in the server, you're totally like just nice to everyone and very warm and welcoming, and I want you to feel welcomed with Team Dirty Nerdy. We've all just want to give our love to you. So guys, listen. Make sure you subscribe to the Beardy Man, because
do it now.
Because if you don't, I'm gonna be sad, and I'm gonna be like, why you not do this? But yeah, make sure you subscribe to Bearded Audio ASMR. Links will be down below. Where can the people find you at Twitter?
On Twitter, I am Bearded ASMR because Bearded Audio ASMR is too long. So just Bearded ASMR, and then Instagram is Bearded Audio ASMR, the full thing. Right there. Links will be down below as always. Thank you so much again for coming on Dirty Nerdy today. Really does. Dude, anytime. Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, it'd be great to come back and discuss whatever, whenever.
Oh, absolutely. You will be back on Dirty Nerdy. But guys, listen, if you like this, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the bell, so you know when we come back with new Dirty Nerdy. Um I said subscribe, hit the bell, like all of those things. Go subscribe to Bearded, and we will see you in the next video. It's Christopher Not Walken, Dirty Nerdy Show, Bearded Audios. We out. Bye.
Bye.